Welcome to another episode of the Long Game Podcast. I'm back as your guest host, and I'm excited about our next guest. I've got sitting with me here today the National Young Auctioneer Champion from Purtle Plevy Agencies, Michael Purtle. Welcome, Michael.
G'day, Amy. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
It's great to have you here. We're excited to hear about your journey and about the competition and what's happening in the future, and I'm sure our listeners will be keen to hear all about it.
No, very good.
So we'll jump straight into it. You've grown up around the industry with your family deeply involved in your agency. It's a family-run agency. How did that environment shape you and your interest in becoming an auctioneer?
Well, I suppose, I've always grown up in and around it, so you're probably, in most cases, a product of your environment as such. So that's all I've really known growing up, and always just had a knack for wanting to talk to people and enjoy the livestock side of things. So if you can do both and make a career out of it, it's good fun and I enjoy it. So now I've just been in and around it sort of my whole life and love it.
Yeah, and I'm guessing there was a time in your life where you realised that this is probably something you want to pursue, being exposed to livestock sales and auctions and things like that. Do you remember that time, or do you think it was always just built in you?
I think it was always probably just intrinsically built in me, but probably as school started to shape up in the senior years, probably year 11 and 12, where everybody's sort of thinking about university and worrying about ATARs and what have you. Like I'd go home on school holidays and just go straight to work for our company and for mum and dad, and just always just felt comfortable there. And whilst I enjoyed my schooling, I just probably in those last couple of years really defined that I love that environment and doing that side of things. So that's probably, I was always destined to do it, I suppose, and that probably ticked the box to say that's the way I'm heading.
That's the way to go. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And, you've said as well, you really enjoy working with people and the people side of the business and working within the agency as well. Is there something in particular that appealed you to go to stay where you are with the family business, or is it just, like you said, something that just is built in you?
Oh, a bit of both. I'll be the first one to admit and put my hand up. I've had a pretty good start into the industry in the sense of having a family company. A lot of other young blokes have to go and work for a corporate company as such, or with another private agency, and they probably don't get the opportunities to do much selling till they get a bit older, where in one way I was thrown in the deep end at sort of 18 when I first started. And so in a lot of ways I'm very lucky for the platform that I've been provided, but I just enjoy all facets of it. The agency side of things is really important, because you can't be a good auctioneer without any stock to sell. So you've got to be a good agent first, and if you can add value to your clients' businesses by being a capable auctioneer, well, that all helps. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And you say, you feel lucky to have that, but you do have to create your own luck as well. And I think your accolades along the way really show your work ethic. And like you just said, being a people person and having the stock to sell and becoming a great auctioneer, it's all part of hard work.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, we've done a few miles, and I've only been in the industry for 5 years. But again, I've probably seen this whole market in a nutshell, really, from when I first started to now. When I first came back and left school and started working in the industry, we're just coming off a huge drought, and cattle numbers were down and prices were at an all-time high. And now we're currently going into a drier period, and we've seen record-breaking numbers of stock being yarded and sold. So to be able to sort of be on that roller coaster from where the job's been really good to where it's getting a bit tougher now, it's a great life education, and probably in a lot of ways, well, it is a great education in the sense that you get to learn how to handle situations down the track. Hopefully we've got a long enough career in this show. I've only been in the job for 5 minutes really, but just picking up all those little things, as I say, whether it be how you draft stock and handle stock on a big day, or how you talk to your clients about marketing their stock when the job is tough or when the job is good, and different avenues of marketing their products. So, no, it's all been a massive learning curve, but it's been one where you always make a mistake or two, but as long as you learn from them and build on that and square it up somewhere down the track, that's the main thing.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. We're only human at the end of the day, so
Yeah.
mistakes are going to happen, but you grow
absolutely.
from them and you become better at your skills and your line of work, and you just keep building off that.
Yeah, that's it.
So learning your craft of auctioneering, it's such a specialized skill. I want to know, what were those early days like learning the craft, and how did you develop your own style?
Well, it's sort of, I always struggled with numbers a little bit at school, and couldn't really pronounce some words right, and I sort of picked up on that early and went to a speech therapist. I sort of identified that in probably year 8 or 9, thinking, well, there's a bit of a drama there, and that's what I'd like to do, is be a successful agent and a capable auctioneer. So I had to get on top of that pretty quick, but so I had to get that sorted pretty early in the piece. But from there, probably just identify, like anything, like you guys in the real estate game as well, you identify people probably that are a bit older than you or more experienced as such, and you're like, oh geez, I really like how he or she marketed that property or how they got that listing. It's very much the same for how I've sort of moulded myself in, identify not a heap, but probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 very good auctioneers, and try and implement a bit of their style or techniques into your own, and then make it your own. And the bigger your toolbox is, the more capable and the more easier it gets, I suppose. So yeah, just identifying who's good and what you like. And there's things that you hear of some auctioneers that you go, oh, I'd never say that. So you check yourself and go, we'll never be in that camp. But I think it's just identify good people. Like anything in business, have good people around you.
Yeah.
Ask for advice. Don't think you know it all in 5 minutes. And that's been the biggest thing. I've had many of people who I rate as auctioneers that have never, ever knocked me back when I've gone to them for some advice, whether it be first starting and I still do it to this day for a couple of reasons, but like voice record myself every time I sell. So every now and then when I think I'm in a bit of a slump or I could have done that a bit better, I'll send it on to one of my mentors, I suppose, and say, well, what did I do different there, or how do I change this, or what is the approach this time around? So you're always learning, and my biggest thing is just collaborate and bounce off people that you rate.
Yeah, and that is very important, I think, in any industry, to have that mentorship and that backing and continue to learn. And I love that you voice record yourself to go back and listen to it to work out, okay, what did I do great, what did I do not so great, and learn off that, which I think is very important. And a lot of people, especially young people, wouldn't necessarily think to do something like that. I think sometimes, like you just said, people can step in and think they know it all.
Yeah.
So it is really important to take a step back and learn from the best. So you did mention mentorship and influence, and if you don't mind mentioning who those mentors are, but you've had the opportunity to learn from these experiences and from these people. How important has that mentorship been in shaping your approach today?
Oh, probably the reason that I've done all right in Sydney and get to sell weekly, whether it be in Tamworth, Gunnedah or Dubbo, or have the honour of doing the odd charity event as well. Like that's always a feather in your cap to be asked to do those types of things. But look, mentorship-wise, again, I've identified a couple of blokes that sort of took me under their wing to a degree. My father, I bounce off him a lot, and he's majority or predominantly shaped me into an auctioneer in the sense of process and how to approach different things and the do's and the don'ts. But then again, a great mate of ours, of my father, he's probably a mentor of my father too when he first started, Peter Etheridge. He's later in life became a Sydney real estate auctioneer. He's very, very accomplished. Probably set the standard in that Sydney real estate auctioneering facet of the game.
Yeah.
But he's also done a lot around livestock as well, and the way he operates is very good. He's very old school, which is good because I always same old thing. You've got to be grounded in traditions, and it's like any industry, the game never changes, just the players. But if you can bounce off a bloke like that that's seen every facet of auction process and just be able to absorb all his knowledge. It's money for jam, and it's fantastic. Don't worry, he'll tell you when you've done a terrible job too.
Sometimes we need that, though.
Of course, yeah, exactly. You need to be brought down a peg every now and then. It's good. Paul Dooley, stud stock auctioneer, very, very good. The best stud stock auctioneer in Australia, I would say. In the modern era, he's very, very good. He spent a lot of time with me leading into Sydney, good enough to go out of his way and meet me at the Tamworth Cattle Yards early on a Wednesday morning before we both get going for the day doing jobs, and just run through sort of the auction process for how you do it in Sydney, because it's not the everyday process, so you've got to be polished. And because he's a stud stock auctioneer and he's transacting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars at a rostrum every time he goes round, having that bit of class and finesse off him's really helped. Sam Plevy, our business partner, he's a very, very capable auctioneer, very good auctioneer. He's very good on values, so you can sound as flash as you like. You could be as flowery and suave as you like, but if you don't know your product and you don't know what it's worth, well, all that stuff just goes out the window.
Matter.
So you got to know what you're selling, and he would know what every abattoir, every feedlot, call it grid prices on what's what, like a price for that product is this. He would know it all, and he can work it out and help you. So in the early days, you'd bounce off him and say, what do they got there to kill those? What's that equivalent, 2 cents per kilo in a sale yard? So he's very, very switched on, and again, a great mentor for me, not just only in the auctioneering thing, but in business too. He's very progressive. And same old thing, he's got great ethics and he sets a standard, and I try and so does my father, and try and get on the back of that and build. And then I've been very blessed to have a lot of good auctioneers around me and help, but Pete Etheridge, Paul Dooley, Patrick Purtle, and just probably haven't had too much mentorship, but watching Mark Garland at Dubbo, like he could sell in excess of 2,000 cattle a week, could sell 4,000 or 5,000 lambs and 3,000 or 4,000 sheep a week. So again, watching that bloke operate the way he does, it's you're always picking things up. Like even there at Dubbo last week, I just saw him sell a big run of cattle, and the way he handled himself and made sure that he secured his vendor the best price. Like not many blokes could do it to the effect that he does. So again, he's one of the best, I reckon, in a sale yard space to watch, because that's what we do in a commercial sense every day, is in a sale yard. So watching him go around is very good. And then in the lamb side of things, I quite enjoy selling sheep and lambs. It's different. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's something that I really, really rate. And there's some very good ones. Our selling centre for sheep and lambs isn't as big as what sort of southern New South Wales perhaps might be, like Forbes or Wagga Wagga, but very good auctioneer down there in Wagga Wagga, James Teeney. He could sell 14 or 15,000 lambs and just not stop, just walk through every pen, and has a way. And again, it's everything I probably mentioned about knowing his product and his price, and that's why a bloke can sell 14,000 lambs in 48 minutes, probably, even quicker. That's just, so if you, in summary, if you can base yourself off those sort of industry leaders and implement that into yourself, and being a young bloke too, you never think you're going better than what you are, and you always have the humble approach. But if you can implement a bit of their style into your own delivery, I think it pays in spades, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So you take bits and pieces from your mentors and your role models, and you try and, take that on and make it your own style. How did you go about developing that style, though, to make it authentic to you? And I know that's a bit of a tricky question, but, you take so much knowledge from everyone else and skill, but then to make it, the Michael Purtle way.
Yeah. Well, I suppose you've always just got to, through plenty of trial and error, don't worry, but you've always got to be yourself. It doesn't matter what you're doing, on a footy field or in business of any sort, or even out having a beer with your mates. Just be yourself. Don't be something that you're not.
Yeah.
As I say, it's very important to try and take bits off other people, but be yourself and have your approach. Some blokes might be a bit hard and a bit coarse or something like that, and I've been guilty of that at times, but just be yourself and just try and be a good bloke. And if you're, I think that's two things I always got told of my old man: being a good bloke and telling the truth always set you free. So if you can implement that into just life in general and in your auctioneering ability too, you can be hard but fair and probably be on the harder side at times when markets are a bit tough. But that's why people send you stock, because you know what things are worth and you're not going to lie down at a price that you're not happy with. So it's about the way you go about approaching that to do the best for your vendors.
Yeah.
But yeah, plenty of trial and error, and I'm learning all the time. There's always things like that you could be doing better. And as I say, voice recording myself, listening to how I sold in Dubbo this morning on the way home, just go, oh, geez, that sounds a bit rough, or that's probably not the most useful, correct words of grammar or what have you. But it's just trial and error. Be yourself and back yourself, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think backing yourself is probably the biggest one, and moving forward, and you have backed yourself to this moment where you've just come back and you won the National Young Auctioneers Competition. And now that's a huge achievement. I know it's a very big one for you and it means a lot to you, but I want to know, and our listeners want to know, what does that really mean to you, and how did you get to reach that level?
I'd have a couple of throws at the stumps to get there, because how that competition works, you've got to win the New South Wales one to be eligible to go into the national competition. And I won the New South Wales one, so I had the ticket into the next year into the national one. I came second. I got runners up, which is probably still not a bad effort, but I wasn't dirty on anybody else by myself, because I knew that, I could have, in reflection, could have done a few things a bit better. And the bloke that beat me, he hands down deserved to win. So it's again, it's a bit of self-reflection. I went home from that, and it's the same old thing. You lose a grand final, you don't throw your boots away and I'm never playing the sport again. It's like, well, what do we got to do to be better and get back to the basics? And that's what I really did. I just came home, got back into the fold of everything and just worked on little things. And another 12 months, I wasn't going to go again. And then a good family friend of ours rang up and said, well, if you don't do it, you'll never know. So I had to go back through the process and compete in the New South Wales Auctioneers Competition. I was fortunate enough to win that. And then this year got another throw at the stumps in the national one and finally got it done second time round. But no, it means the world to me. It's always been a dream of mine. As a kid, it's something that's pretty special. It's pretty special for our business and our family. My father and I were the only father and son duo to win both competitions. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, wow, that is pretty cool. History making.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose. But no, it's the same old thing. Like, very proud of it, but you just park that and you get on with business and you get back to the commercial reality and you worry about your clients. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you've won that competition and it gives you a ticket to another competition.
Yes.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Where you're going, what it's going to look like, and your preparation for it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty exciting. Get to go to the Calgary Stampede and compete in the Rookie World Championships Auctioneers Competition. It's mainly American and Canadian auctioneers, and they're a different style of game, and they sell a lot quicker than us and have a different process of auctioneering. It's probably more so the experience than anything else going over there and compete. Like there could be 80 auctioneers in it, opposed to the competition we have here where you have 10 competitors in the New South Wales one and 8 or 9 in the national one. So you're up against a bigger field and all very much so capable auctioneers over there. Probably their selling style is a lot different to how we sell over here, but nonetheless, it'll be a great experience and it'll be good to go over there and have a look about and have a blow for 5 minutes. It'll be good. Yeah,
that'll be great. And that's in the next couple of months, right?
Yeah, July,
Yeah. Well, that'll be very exciting. Yeah. Family heading over with you?
The old man's going to come for a couple of weeks and then a couple of mates from school and I are going to have a bit of a trip around the States for 6 weeks. So
yeah, amazing.
We're going to have a look about and once in a lifetime type stuff. So might as well take it with both hands and enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very cool. So coming back to to your everyday job, I guess, your career, your business, you're regularly working with large scales of livestock.
Yes.
And it's high pressure situations. It's a high pressure sales environment is probably the best way to put that. And how do you stay composed and perform consistently in those moments?
I think it's to be honest, in the last 10 or 12 weeks, it's been the craziest that I'll probably ever see it. Well, I shouldn't say ever, but it's been record-breaking numbers being sold each week to the point where cattle yards are nearly at capacity. You couldn't fit another beast in the yards. And we've had our fair share of the numbers in those yardings, which has been great. But I suppose again it just comes back to knowing your product and what market's going to best suit your client at the end of the day. But again, it's probably, I wouldn't say stress, but it's that is our business, auctioneering.
Good stress.
Yeah, absolutely, my word. Sow yards is very much so our business. We sell in 3 of them. So you just got to, well, my thing is every time I go into a set of sow yards is just be switched on. When you get home, you can switch off and go and have a beer or go to footy training or go fishing, play golf, whatever you like. But for the amount of time that you're there, you've just got to be 100% focused on the job at hand. And at the end of the day, you're transacting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars for producers, which are at the end of the day our clients, and that's our income. So you want to make sure you're doing the best job by them and I suppose to have the good reputation within the industry. Oh, geez, those Purtle Plebby blokes are going well, they're doing a top job. And that's not just the auctioneering side of things, it's the drafting of the stock, getting them prepared for sale early in the mornings or late at night before the sale starts. So there's a lot of science. The selling part's the easy part if you know your product, but the science about getting cattle drafted correctly, and especially on big days when you haven't got the room that you usually would at different times, to make sure that all your clients get the same treatment in presentation and everything like that. So it's been hectic, but it's been great and a great learning curve. So we used to yard 400 or 500 cattle there in the last few years, and we think we're having a big day. And that's a lot. That's the same for a lot of agencies. I think I speak on everybody's behalf there, but lately it's been anywhere from 700 to 1,400 cattle. So now when we've only got 250 or 300, it feels like a breeze. But it's been a great learning curve, and I think you just got to have the mindset like anything you do. You just got to have a level of professionalism to it. And for me, it's probably everybody's different, but I never have a beer before a sale, like the night before, not in the car park, but like the night before. Like I just don't. It's just one thing for me. I'm like, healthy body, healthy mind, make sure that you're switched on, and that's been a big thing for me. And exercise and things that you do outside of work, like going to the gym and things like that.
You wind down.
And that's the time where you can chill out a bit. But
you can't perform unless you're right.
Well, when you're at the coalface, you just want to make sure that you're as switched on as you can be, because at the end of the day, you're there to put your best foot forward for your client. So if you've done that, you've done your job. Yeah,
absolutely. Definitely agree with that. And I've had the pleasure of being able to listen to you auctioneer before, and it is very incredible. You're very good at what you do, and I can tell that you love that. So as a stock and station agent and an auctioneer, what is it about the job that you love the most?
Seriously, I love all facets of it. I love that you can help people in the sense of, like at the moment, in a drier time, and you've got to think outside the box sometimes in how you market your client's livestock, and that's not always the case to go to the sow yard. You've got to find alternative angles. So the agency side of things and dealing with people, that's probably the first and foremost. Like I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoy doing right by people and being 100% transparent and as ethical as you can be. And I think that goes a long way. But you get that right, you look after people, you do the right job, the rest sort of looks after itself. You
Yeah.
just got to know your product and know what you're doing. But no, I love all of it. I get a thrill out of that auctioneering thing. I really do. And
I think everyone does when they listen to you.
oh, I
Everyone's like,
don't know about that.
oh.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But no, it's good. It's probably embodied in me. It's been
Yeah.
a part of my whole life, and to be able to do it every day and to be able to do it in a family business is great. It's something that I'm very proud of, and looking forward to see how our family business goes going into the future, and
Yeah,
hopefully
absolutely.
see more growth as it progresses. But no, we're just enjoying it, and it's been a hectic time for everybody in the industry. Really, I think it's just starting to wind off, perhaps a little bit now. So everyone will get to have a bit of a chill out and a bit of a reset. But no, I can't complain. It's great. I really do enjoy it.
Yeah, that's awesome too. And I think that's it. You got to love every part of your job, and if you do, you become pretty great at it at the end of the day.
Well, that's it. You got to enjoy what you do.
You do, yeah.
Because there's no point getting out of bed if you're like, oh, I've got to go to work. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to find what suits you. And don't worry, there's some days when we might do 3 or 4 days at starting at midnight and getting home. And that's no exaggeration there lately.
Yeah.
Like, start at midnight and get home at 6 or 7 and go again at 2 o'clock the next morning or something. We're no different to anybody else. A lot of blokes are a lot of companies are in the same boat. But you just love it because, when at the end of the day or at the end of the week on a Friday afternoon when you're having a cold beer and it's all said and done, it's you look back and it goes, yeah, we worked some hours, but we had a lot of fun doing it. So as long as you're enjoying what you're doing and doing the right job, it's all happy days.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And looking forward now, what impact do you hope to have both within the industry and your local community over long term? So, looking at your agency, obviously your legacy with the win that you've just had, the community, and what does that look like moving forward for you?
Well, I think if you're doing your agency job correctly,
Yeah.
That's looking after your community and being present and available to, it's a tool at the end of the day. Put me on a welder or an angle grinder, I'd be no chance of being any good to people. But if it's a charity auction, which I've done a few of those, and done a few for a few different families in need of raising a bit of money. Like, not once would you ever think about charging to do those things, but you walk out of those things and go, well, I've made a positive impact on someone. That's what it's about. That's what I get a kick out of. That's what I love, knowing that you've helped someone. And that's, people might have different opinions, but I feel agencies like that a lot. You're helping people secure a price. That's why they use you. That's why they employ you as such. So as long as you're doing that right, stick to your moral compass and not get sideways. Always aspire to be a good family man and a good businessman. And I think if you've got those two things right, you're looking after your community and just having a reputation of being a good person, I think's the best one.
Yeah. So the future looks great. Yeah.
Well, you can be as money hungry as you like and burn a heap of bridges. Where's the fun in that? If you can go around and look after people and do the right job and be considered a good bloke and get a quid along the way, well, it's a pretty bloody good lifestyle.
And look, with that mindset, it's going to be a pretty short-term career, but with the mindset of, like you just said, being a good person and knowing your values and your morals, and getting along with everyone, you're going to have a very long career.
Yeah. I like to hope so, yeah. But,
perfect. Is there anything else you want to say to our listeners and our followers? Any advice you have on any young man out there or woman that's looking to become an auctioneer and want to start?
I suppose like anything, there's just no time like the present. Like, you're not happy doing what you're doing, and like anything, if you want to have a go at something, like plenty of opportunities to do it. All you got to do is just find someone.
Start.
Get a start's the main thing.
Yeah.
Hard work fixes most things, and if that's what you want to do, there's a lot of work in what we do, like you guys and what you do. A lot of preparation, a lot of work. You just don't get to put up the for sale sign on a house. It's all the background noise that goes on that people don't see. People, it's the same in auctioneering to a degree. They see you stand up over there and get to sell 1,000 cattle at a 10-month store sale. Well, that's great, but there's a team of staff, employees, agents within each business's cohort that have got the stock there to sell. There's a truck driving company that's got the stock there to sell. So everyone plays a part. So like anything, just have a go and hard work bloody fixes most things.
Yeah, it does. Hard work does pay off, and I think that's a great message to send. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast today, Michael. We look forward to seeing how you go at the competition in Calgary, and best of luck.
Good on you. Thank you very much for having me. Been great. Thank you.
Nice.